Hey YouTube, welcome back to Universe X, and today we're coming at you with the rest of the Namekian spoilers. So yeah, pretty actually hyped for this. So far I've been really liking the way the deck has been shaping up, and I think that it's just like really cool that Piccolo's finally getting this sort of love. I also find it funny that, like I was saying before, I was joking around with the spear about how at this part of the game, or the show, there was like literally 3 Namekians, and I did forget about Nail when I said this, but sure enough, this archetype is straight up what I was saying. A whole bunch of Piccolos, a few Kamis, those a Nail or 2, and then like a single Dende. So I'm like, hey yo, like, it's just really funny to me, dude. So with that being said, I just want to give the normal kind of little stint here. We'll try to condense it even further. If you haven't already and you're watching this video, think about hitting that subscribe button. We're putting out all sorts of content, tournament reviews, matches that take a little bit longer to edit, so I gotta find the time to do that. And I also try to include the people in my Discord to come in to play these games. So if you ever want to play on stream, just make sure that you have a clear, camera, make sure you have a steady connection, jump in the Discord, and we'll get you on one of the next fight nights. We have like pack openings. I started trying to do those a little bit more. We always go over new cards, new spoilers. We always talk about decks. We always talk about the meta. We always talk about design space. So we're really just everything about this game on this channel. And so that's the type of content that I want to be proud of and be able to give to you guys. So if you haven't already, think about hitting that subscribe button, because we're only going up. That's right, road to 2K, and we're going steady. Now, past that, just want to say, if you haven't already, hit up that official Facebook group, because that's where you're going to get official spoilers as well as announcements like the very spoilers we're going over today. Then you've got the unofficial discussion group, the unofficial Reddit, you've got my own Discord, my own Facebook page, all these places you can find cool things about the game, people that like to play the game the same way, and new ideas to help you further your game. Now, after that, I want to just give a shout out to TCGMetalZ. They are my partial sponsors, and as well as one of my friends. Chris is a really good dude and an excellent player, and you can find all sorts of cool, just collectible metal cards that he makes. They will spice up any deck, and while they're not quite tournament legal, nobody really cares at a tournament because everybody knows they're sick. And when you go to the site and you find something you like, you can use the code UNIX, that's UNIX, and that'll also be in the description to get 10% off your entire order. Last but not least, I have my own TCG player, so you can just check that link and see if I have anything you want. I update my prices almost daily to make sure I'm in line with everybody else. And yeah, I also have more places than Universe X to catch content made by moi. On UNIX DB, I play Dragon Ball games. On UNIX Gacha, I play anime related games. So hit it up, hit it up, hit it up. Lots of content coming out on all my channels. Now, we are into this. Let's put the template up and let's get into why you came here. So first off, we're gonna talk about the Dende Guardian's Destiny. That is actually the Dende Unison. This is the one Dende I was talking about. Not like I knew this card was coming, but I was like, Dende only really showed up for like game really in Piccolo's life when he had to take over for Kami's spot after Kami was absorbed by Piccolo. So you got Dende, Guardian's Destiny, rejuvenate once per turn, 5 markers from this card. That's a lot, especially on a +1 Unison. That's a lot. When one of your Namekian cards is auto once per turn, one of your Namekian cards activates Union Absorb. Place the top card of your deck under this card. Then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode. +1, activate main, play 1 yellow Piccolo card with an energy cost of 1 from your hand. Okay, so this is actually pretty cool. Now, here's the thing that we have here. Lots of the Piccolos aren't necessarily blockers. We got a lot of offensive cards, some with crit and stuff like that, but we don't have like a crazy amount of blockers. But yellow is also really good at tapping things down. So who knows if this Unison gets to survive, but everything in the game swings this Unison. Every 1-drop you play swings in this Unison. Every token you make swings in this Unison. So I do not see this Unison as long for this world, and I'm not sure if you're gonna play it. Well, I mean, I'm not sure if it's worth playing in almost any deck. I just think it's going to get smashed very quickly. However, in terms of effects, it's actually pretty cool. You're going to be Union Absorbing once to twice a turn, and the fact that this card is going to help you Union Absorb and then tap something down, most of these cards interact with tapped cards. So this is going to be an enabler for your yellow Piccolo cards to really get it in there. Then on top of that, the +1 is crazy because the +1 is going to allow you to play your 1-drops and keep your energy open to then play into your other stuff. So yeah, this card is probably going to get smoked the moment it comes down. But if you were to turn 1, play it for 1 energy, and then +1 it to immediately play a 1-drop, yeah, you just like well, I mean, you're minusing 1 because this is going to be a neg 1 from hand, and then you're going to plus 1, and you're going to just play the other card. And then that card's going to replace itself in hand. Now, the worst part about this is that there's no sort of protection. He can't discard a card from under him. The only thing he's going to do is eat up cards from the top of your deck, and, you know, it's not necessarily going to do much of anything. For this card at least. And then, you know, if this card gets popped, which is very easy for it to do so, you're going to lose all those cards underneath. So I'm a little sad about this. I feel like this Unison could have been made with some protection. It would have been so much better of a piece for this deck. Next, we're going to look at Piccolo, Ready to Fuse. Union Absorb once per turn, 1. If your leader card is a Namekian card and you choose 1 Namekian card in your hand or battle area and put it under this card, play up to 1 yellow Piccolo card, an energy cost of 3 from your deck on top of this card, then shuffle your deck if you look through it. Auto, when this card is played, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, add up to 1 yellow Namekian card amongst them to your hand, shuffle your deck. Yes, this is a very much so yellow version of a green card we already saw. Now, lots of people are wondering why we're just reprinting cards over again. I have a very strong theory. Oh, I always think my theories are strong. But when it comes to this, the leader is yellow. And so you have to have these cards in yellow, otherwise it's going to be really rough to make certain charges. Now, that being said, next set we're getting Unison, like Zenkai boosting. And we've already seen that little teaser reel promo. There was a Gohan, a Vegeta, a Goku, and a Piccolo from the left side of the screen over to the right. Now, they flashed it to show kind of the update to the Zenkai boost, and Goku clearly went Ultra Instinct. Vegeta, I believe he was bulkier when he switched from the first screen to the second screen, but kept the same hairstyle. He is undoubtedly going to SSB Evolution. The Gohan and the Piccolo stayed the same silhouettes, but Ultimate is the same silhouette as Ultimate, and Piccolo's new Ultimate form is the same silhouette as his current form. So I do believe that since the next set is likely to be the movie set, we are getting a Zenkai boost card that has to do with the new Gohan from the movie and the new Piccolo form from the movie. With that being said, I do believe that Piccolo will be a leader, and he will be a green leader next set. Namekians all tend to be pretty exclusive or inclusive to each other, and if he was green, not only would it be better for him to have access to so much of his previous archetype, but he's also going to be able to use these one-drop searchers to boost his cards. So you can leave less design space completely clogged up by, oh, play 1, search top cards for Piccolo next set. If Piccolo's a green leader next set, you'll be able to use these green cards, and so the one drops will be necessary and add on to his own consistency. Rant over. We're gonna move over to this next one, Piccolo Fusion's Resolve. We're not even gonna go over this one because this is literally a yellow version of another green card that we saw previously. He's just going to be able to Union Absorb for 2 for a Namekian card that cost 4. And then, well, 1 green card that costs 4. And then he's also going to, when this card is played, draw 1 card. Now let's go over to a new card. Nail the Protector. Permanent, while this card is under a Piccolo in the battle area, that card gains plus 1,000. So it's going to turn like that 4,000 double strike crit into a, 2,400, wow, 24,000 crit double strike Piccolo into a 25,000. So that's pretty cool. When this card is played, look at the top 5 cards from your deck, add up to 1 yellow Namekian card with energy cost of 4 or less, or 1 yellow Unison specified cost of 1 amongst them to your hand, shuffle your deck. That's heat. We're gonna move over to the next one, Kami, Guarding the North. Pretty much the same. He's just a draw instead of a search, so this cycle continues, but he's also gonna give 1K when he's under a Piccolo. Now, if you have both of these under a Piccolo for some reason, that's gonna be pretty cool because he's going to be able to, they'll be giving 2,000, which is going to change the math, you know? They can't just plus 5, and it's just gonna change the math a little bit. Now, you got Piccolo, Nail's Might. This is the next card, Evolve. 2 yellow, Piccolo or Nail. When this card is played or attacks, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO it. Auto, if it's your opponent's turn, when this card is used in a combo from your hand, choose up to 1 of your Namekian cards in the battle area and switch it to active mode. If you've got some of them barrier Namekians, this is very good because it will keep them out of harm's way. But even if it's not a barrier Namekian, if you just don't want it being swung on, this could work. And it's a 0.5K. So this is a good card, and on top of it being a good card, the fact that it just pops every time it swings or when it's played makes it mileage. The longer it stays on the board, the worse it gets for your opponent. This is a very, very, very good card. And it has multiple uses, so it's never dead, whether you're comboing it or playing it, and that's why I love it. Next, we're going over to U6 Namekians. We've got a Cyanol, Burden Shouldered. Union Absorb once per turn. Choose 1 Namekian in card in your hand and play this, place it under this card. Play 1 Cyanol card with energy cost of 2 or 3 from your deck or hand on top of this card, then shuffle your deck if you look through it. auto, when this card is played from your hand, play up to 1 Piranha card with an energy cost of 1 from your deck in rest mode, and shuffle your deck. So when you play him, you're going to be able to play his partner from your deck. He's going to Union Absorb into a thicker Cyanide, and I think that's pretty cool because that's very thematic for these Namekians. Next, you got a 30k Cyanide. So you can play this guy for 1, and for 1 more, you can bring out a 30k. That's actually really good on energy efficiency, but it's not necessarily like it does like a crazy thing. It thins your deck out by 1, and you'll be able to thin your deck out by 2 by playing this card. So you know what? It's not exactly the worst. Next, you're continuing the cycle. You got Piranha Burden Shouldered. You get the exact same effect and the exact same effect, except he summons Cyno. So it is what it is, and you got another vanilla. So these guys will get thick. Not sure what the purpose is, kind of filling out stuff right now, but hey, one day we may see. And then the last card we have here is Weight on One's Shoulders. I cannot stress enough to you guys how much I love this name and this art. It is just like really, really cool. Except the back of Kami's head, that looks weird. But activate battle. If it's your opponent's turn, choose up to 1 Namekian card in your battle area. Choose or switch to active mode, and then it gains 10k power for the turn or for the battle. This is actually really cool. Like I said, it'll get your berry dudes out of harm's way, but it can also be the difference between getting neg too hard. You know, like I don't know, it's really cool. You could take these out of harm's way and then put them up 1k, and then if they had like 15k, they were gonna minus it in the battle or something like that. It could be a little different. The math could be different. There's so many things that can happen. But I guess if it's your opponent's turn, then they would go first. So it's a little trickier than that when you're adding stuff on. So if they were gonna kill it in that battle, then it would already be dead. So I take that point back. But it's really cool to be able to untap things and give it 10k for the battle. There's just like a little bit of possibility that you can do with all these things and keep your guys out of being swung on. Now, the other activate battle for just yellow, if it's your turn, choose up to 1 of your Namekian cards, and for each Namekian card under it gains plus 5k power for a maximum of 15k, and then double strike for the battle. So this is actually a really strong card because this is essentially a Namekian Champa, and on top of it being a Namekian Champa, it can work on your leader. It can work on your leader, it can work on your battle cards, and there are a lot of critical battle cards in here. So this deck will be able to turn up the heat in terms of how often you can slap somebody in the face with double strike critical. And that's nothing to scoff at. Your opponent will keep things like super combos, they'll have negates, they'll have SCRs in their life. You just never know. It's just the nature of the game. And this deck will be able to deny your opponent of quite a few cards through critical pressure. So with that being said, this was a little shorter than normal because some of the cards were kind of almost strict reprints. I will be working on the archetype breakdown so I can kind of give you guys a little overview, show you guys some of the general plays, and we'll be having a lot of fun. I do really like this deck, and I'm hoping that it can go the distance in terms of power because it's gonna be a doozy. Like, I like seeing this much crit, and then there's double strike in there mixed in as well. So this guy's gonna hit you, and he's gonna hit you hard. That being said, I wanted to say thank you guys for watching. I am super excited to make more content on this set, and I will see you guys the next time you decide to join Universe X. If you like the content, hit that subscribe button and join the Uni X fam, and we'll keep balling in Universe X. Thanks, and I'll see you later.